Salutations, my name is Summer and this is Sterling Reads. My Sterling is still not feeling well, but he's not in here today. I actually have Rollo, Mayfair, Randall, and Sylvie. If you hear anybody, that's who you'll be hearing. I want to mention something that made me really happy and that I enjoyed, and that was I saw that Douglas Adams in his The More Than Complete Hitchhiker's Guide has a tiny little novella. It's like 11 pages long and it's called Young Zaphod Plays It Safe. And I saw that there was a channel, it's called Now Read This, and it's Levi Aeryn. I'll link it down below. He reads out Young Zaphod Plays It Safe, and he does such of a great job. It was so much fun just to sit and listen to him read it out. And also Douglas Adams. I'm really wanting to do a reread of all of his stuff. He's just wonderful and clever, and yeah, I don't reread him enough. Okay, so I've read a lot of things. I'm reading in the middle of reading more than a lot of things. So let's see. I finished Catherine Howard by Alison Weir. Oh, something else I want to mention. I saw that Aeryn from Aeryn Read a Book or Aeryn Read a Book has a new original tag out. I have not watched it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I'll link him down below. I forget what it's called, but the thumbnail looked really funny. And then I saw that Mark over at Book Time with Elvis had made a thank you video, and to the BookTube community, and in the video he had mentioned something about coming back, and that made me really happy because he's one of my favorite booktubers. So anyway, I just want to mention that, and I will link everybody down below that I mentioned. So I read Catherine Howard by Alison Weir. This is the 5th book in the 6 Tudor Queens. I'm surprised it's as long as it is, but they talk about, they start them out when they're young and growing up and all that. But she was so young when she got married to Henry VIII, and she wasn't married to him for very long. She was actually cousins to Anne Boleyn, who was beheaded also for adultery and all kinds of stuff. But this was very good. I really enjoy these. You have to make sure you're looking up things because it is historical fiction. We will never know how these queens felt, if they really wanted to marry him, if he really did have that personality that made you love him. I kind of feel like he must have, but also he's a king. He's beheaded, set wives aside, does whatever he wants, changes the religion, like, he does whatever he wants. So anyway, I've really enjoyed this. I am listening to the final book. I don't own it. I think I have it on Kindle, but I'm listening to the audio book of Catherine Parr, the 6th final queen of Henry VIII. She's the one, besides Anna Cleves, she was the one who I'm most curious about because of the whole Tom Seymour thing. So Tom Seymour was the younger son. He was Jane Seymour, the 3rd queen's brother. And there was this whole thing with him, which I haven't talked about yet. I got 3 hours. It's like an 18-hour audio book, and I'm now to the point where the king is dead. She's marrying Tom Seymour, and she has, who's going to be Queen Elizabeth, living with her pretty much. So there was a whole thing between Tom Seymour and Queen Elizabeth when she was a young teenager. I don't know if it'll mention it or not, but I'm really enjoying that. I did read The Meg by Steve Alton, and I really enjoyed this. Of course, anything with sharks, and especially prehistoric Megdalons. So much fun. Keep you on your toes. At the very end of this, which is the library book, it has Meg Origins, which is the prequel. I think it's a lot of fun to read it and then read the prequel. I was really happy that it was in the book with it, because there's certain things with our main character that I feel like it's important to know the character a little bit better by reading Origins. I did not like the romance. Oh my gosh, there was there was a part in this that I could not stand. His wife, our main character, his wife could care less about him. She is openly having an affair, openly telling everybody she wants to divorce him. And he's like, your man's gonna take care of the... I was like, no, her man is this other guy who she's using for money and whatever. And then the quick romance into, another relationship. I just, no. Anyway, I read Watchers by Dean Koontz. I read this with Brandy over at the Book Eclectic and Scott Danielson. I really enjoyed my buddy reads with them. I think they're both great. I will link their channels down below. This book was also on the Great American Reads list. I cannot remember what number it was, but I'm surprised it was even on there. But it's the most popular 100 books in the United States. Not the best. Anyway, I really enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun. Of course, it does really have a dog in it, which Dean Koontz is a golden retriever fan. Like, he has golden retrievers. But anyway, it starts out, this guy's in the woods, and this golden retriever comes up to him and is trying to keep him from going further in to the woods, because you can tell that there's something scary out there. I don't know how, I don't know. I wanted the ending to be different. Honestly, I wanted the ending to be sadder. Is that horrible? I just felt it was more realistic. Worst romance scene ever. Cringy, horrible romance scene. But this book, the suspense, though, there's science, not science, what am I trying to say here? I don't know why my brain's not working. Experimentation on animals. There is science. But that, I always hate reading about that, but this was interesting. But I did love the suspense. So I really enjoyed my buddy read with them. I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much without them. So, speaking of Scott Danielson, I'm showing you the third book. This is a library book. I do have the physical book coming to me. That's the bind up of the trilogy of Kristen Lavransdatter. I'm sure I mispronounced that. By Sigrid Undset. I am going to have a really hard time explaining this. I'm reading the first book, The Wreath. I think I'm on chapter 5 or 6. I am loving this. It is very simply written. It's a translated, but it's so beautiful. I mean, it's just it's so far it's like a simple story about a girl who, it's about her family and religion, relationship, like family dynamics, relationship, like how it all works. I don't know how to explain what it is about this that I'm loving so much, but I am loving it. So this will go back to the library since I have the actual bind up coming to me. And I really enjoy hearing Scott's thoughts about things. So something else that I am almost finished with, and that is my reread of Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. Every time I read her, I'm just more and more impressed. I don't know how to explain that. I love her writing. I love her characters. There are similarities between characters, what's going on, somebody being betrayed, somebody hiding a relationship, but it's so good. So I'm reading this for my Jane Austen project. I'm rereading it for my Jane Austen, and I'm rereading this. But they are reading Sense and Sensibility right now, so that's why I'm following this book, and I'll be reading this all year because of that. Also, there will come a point where they mention The Left Hand of Darkness by Le Guin. I've never read that. So when this book mentions that, because I believe that our male our male character that's in the book club, he has a unique name. I've seen the movie a million times, and I've read this like 3 times now. And it's such a... Why can't I think of his name? Because she says, it's different. It's just different. Anyway, he recommends the book, and she is hesitant to read it, and finally does. So I want to read that book when it is mentioned. And there may be other books that's mentioned that I don't remember, and I'll want to read those too. So I am still reading The Americans. I've only read a little bit more of it. I do not want this to end. I need to just read it and finish it. But I'm like so attached to this series. One thing too I had to look up. So our main character, who is finally getting a backbone and growing up and becoming independent, he is with Teddy Roosevelt right now. And I had to look this up because sometimes historical fiction, you just don't know. But Teddy Roosevelt, when he was young, he lost his wife and his mother hours apart on the same day. For different reasons. It's not like they were in an accident together or had the same illness. It was completely different things, reasons why they passed away. And I thought how hard that would be. Actually, that's Teddy. Theodore. But yeah, it's the idea of losing 2 women that are that important in your life, how that affects somebody. Anyway, wonderful, wonderful. And I got this from the library, but I did order the physical book because it is one that I'm going to want to reread. Silent Spring Revolution by Douglas Brinkley. This book is wonderful. I'm learning so much. But like I said, I'm sure there's things I'm missing. I'm only on chapter 5 or 6. So this is one that I will want to reread every year until I get it. Because there's so much. And it makes me wonder like how, I think people forget we are on one planet. If you do nuclear testing, you're hurting more than just this little area. And there's so much life where we don't think there's life. And we just mess everything up as humans. I hate to say it. We can be very loving and wonderful and protective, but we also can do the stupidest things and selfish. And the idea of just doing nuclear testing at all, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't care if it looks like it's an area that nobody lives or nobody's too close by. You know the wind could blow. You know, things do not react the way you think they're going to. So why would you take that risk, that chance of doing that? And then the idea of all the suffering when it comes to radiation, poisoning, and it's just horrific what we do to people and to the planet and to animals. So I feel like it would be nice if we were better, if we were better people, if we made better choices in the future. Right now, I mean, that's the only thing I can think. Like, I hope, like, can we get through this and be better? Okay, So I'm still reading Memnoch the Devil. I only read a couple pages and then set it back down. Lestat is still talking to the devil about God, which is very interesting. And then I only read a couple more pages of Les Miserables. This is a reread, and it's by Victor Hugo, and it's translated by Christine Doniger. This is a book that I am taking my sweet time. I am not going to rush this. I don't care if I'm reading it all year. I'm hoping to get a lot more of it read in March, but I'm going to be reading just a couple pages here, a couple pages there. It's so beautifully written. I love the characters. So yeah, I'm just taking my time with my reread, and it is one of my all-time favorite books. I do plan on at the closer to the end of the year doing a reread of War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, the Anthony Briggs edition, translation. I have read that a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago now, and I loved it. It took me 2 or 3 months to read. It like stayed in my bed forever, and I missed it when I was finished with it. But one more thing that I am reading, and that is The History of Tom Jones, A Founding by Henry Fielding. This book, I'm not even halfway. So yeah, I'm like curious, like what is going to happen with Tom Jones? I'm not even halfway through it. This has been such of a treat. It is so funny. One of our characters just called another character a hussy. I was not prepared for how casual the sex is. It's not explicit or anything like that, but it's funny. Like, and just, I don't know how to explain it, but just like more like open free love type stuff than I was expecting. I'm really enjoying it. It's taking me a while to read, but that's fine. I'm reading a lot of chunkers right now, and I love a big book. So I think that's it. I think that's everything. I have a lot of stuff going on in February that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, so let me know how you're doing and what you've been reading. I hope you're staying safe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.